guys? How we doing? How we doing? I'm doing real good. Oh goodness gracious, what a week. Um, well, I'm gonna get into it today. I want to talk about the past several years. I guess um, there's just been a lot that's happened. I mean, a lot. I mean, I'm almost 50 years old, and I look back and I think, wow, man, the last few years have just been absolutely crazy. I mean, to be honest with you, what I want to talk about is in the last few years, I've had things that basically, man, they made me rethink a lot of stuff. They made me rethink everything. I mean, I second guess everything now. I don't know. I mean, what do we believe? What do we don't believe? I mean, what's real? What's not real? Um, I question a lot of things now that I didn't used to question at all. I mean, there's so many things we've talked about since COVID and everything. I mean, who'd ever thought? When we went through COVID and I mean, half the country got shut down. You know, people weren't working, people were dying, people were, you know, catching COVID. And who'd have thought we'd have had a major pandemic like that in this country, you know? And everything since to me has just been nuts. I mean, I don't get it. Excuse me. I don't get it. I mean, there's so many questions to ask that make me think, anymore. And sometimes I think, I mean, I'm not nuts. I feel like I'm a pretty well-rounded person. I feel like I don't have a tinfoil hat on and I'm crazy and, jump into every conspiracy theory there is or but there's a lot of pretty overwhelming evidence to some things out there that I mean, unless they're lies too, I'm just like, wow, what's going on here? I mean, there's so many questions I mean, did we really land on the moon? I mean, are there UFOs or is it the government, you know, making it all up? Um, God, there's so many, you know. And now I know 911's 9/11's been a big thing for years, but you question that. I mean, was that an inside job or what? I mean, I don't know anymore. I'm so there's so many things that are crazy, Is our government really um a bunch of pedophiles? You know what I mean? Are they taking our kids? I mean, is that stuff real? I mean, or is it not, I mean, so many things have come to the forefront and so many things have become truth now that we found out. Really, I believe that things are a lot deeper than we think they are, folks. I mean, I'd say we'd probably been getting duped for a long time. Um, but then there's things out there that you really still you got to go, no, this can't be right. I mean, there's just so many talking points about conspiracies and things going on right now. I mean, is there a flat Earth? Do we live in a flat Earth? I mean, because you find that one hard to grab onto, but whenever you see them interview pilots and people that run ships in the ocean, and they without a doubt say no, it's this Earth is not round. They have proof showing why it's not round. Who knows? Who knows? You know, is the government making UFOs? I mean, is it all just a scheme to divert us to from something else going on? I mean, the Beam project, that's supposed to put holograms in the sky and make it look like we're coming under attack, or Skunk Works for years building UFOs. They say that's what these pilots are seeing. You know, these little pills floating around in the sky, and they've had this technology since the 50s and 60s. You know, they say they've got enough energy that you can put in your house and we'll never have to worry about electricity again. And they don't give it to us because it's trillions and trillions of dollars. You know, the oil field companies, the electric companies, it affects everything. The car companies, it affects every single thing. But literally, they say, you know, with this stuff, this technology, we could live, you know, free of electricity. We'd never have to worry about electric. Who knows? I mean, I don't know. You know, you see all these people that's coming up with the cures to cancer and by taking dog wormer, and you see these people, even kids, making technology that makes electricity. Said it will cost nothing. I mean, after this is made, it produces its own electricity, and then people are getting killed for it too. You know, um, cars that run on water. I mean, if you know by now, well, you got to know by now that really it's corporations that run the country. I mean, you know, they're the big business is what runs this country. Um, have they got us all fooled? I mean, I'm not sure. There's so many questions to ask, just so many, and it just makes me second guess everything anymore. I don't know how to feel about some of these things. You know, I mean, there's so many things like the wall. I mean, the borders. I mean, we got people flooding in our country. You know, who would ever thought that that would have happened? That we'd have just let millions and millions of people come in, and you know, and amongst all that going on, you have China and Russia and Ukraine and all these countries that are, you know, we're about at war with. You know, seems like some of them anyway. And I just second guess everything. I second guess everything. You know, I mean, I feel like a lot of people think like I do. You know, maybe, like I said, if you'd asked me 10 years ago if we'd have went to the moon, I said, well, hell yes, we'd have went. We went to the moon. You ask me today, I'm like, I'm not so sure about that. I'm not so sure. They got a lot of proof that's showing that we really didn't. You know, and as crazy as that sounds, that they could dupe the whole freaking country and the whole world like that, it's kind of nuts. But I'm not so sure. And you know, as far as flat Earth goes, well, I don't know. That's a hard one for me to grab onto, but they do have a lot of proof. I mean, they do. You know, I mean, they talk about in Antarctica, you know, having cities, and some say it's a government, some say it's UFOs, some say it's just nuts. Everything's gone nuts. I mean, are they doing this to make us seem crazy? Because I'll be quite frank with you, I know a lot of people think like I do, and a lot of people question things like I do. But there's a lot of people that go, get the hell out of here with that, man. Get out of here, dude. Are you kidding me? And then there's a lot of people that are just like, I don't even want to hear it. I don't want to turn on the news. I don't want to watch it. It stresses me out. You know what I mean? It gives me anxiety, and they don't even want to deal with it. They just want to go on with their lives. You know, the problem is where we're seeing this big uprising now, where everybody's pissed off and everybody's tired of everything, all the government BS, is because you can't ignore it anymore. It's come to your doorstep. You know what I mean? Before we could live our lives and we all did decent and moved around and made a little bit of money here and we could live and survive and do our thing. Now it's getting hard to do, you know? You can't ignore everything anymore. You just can't, you know? Groceries are too damn expensive. Inflation's gone up. Everything's too damn expensive. So now it's affecting our lives. seriously affecting everyone's lives. So everybody's pissed and everybody's speaking up, you know. A lot of good music coming out of this though, I'll tell you that. And my thing is I'm real curious as to how everybody I mean with I I run in a pretty small circle, you know. So I talk to the people that I talk to and I get their inputs on it. I get their inputs on it, but for the most part, you know, that's it. And it just I'm just curious, you know, how many people are the same way? How many people, you know, 5, 10 years ago, they'd ask you a bunch of questions and they'd have been totally different answers from what they are would be today. Because that's where I'm at. I mean, I don't know. I wonder about it all. I mean, you know, is our government a bunch of sanist, sick, you know, blood drinking, kid killing. I mean, is it really like that? Is it? I mean, are there UFOs? I mean, are does the government not telling us something that they know and they really are? I mean, you know, we always talked about UFOs. You know, everybody talked about them. Growing up, you know, I talked about them with my granddad. You know, I mean, we had conversations about it. You know, we'd look up at the stars and see something floating across the sky. I mean, oh, look at that. You know, and it the thing is I just don't know. We don't talk about them like we did now. I mean, they didn't talk about them in our government as much. I mean, yeah, there was back in the whatever 50s or 60s some sightings that you know was newsworthy, such and such. But everybody talks about it now. You know what I mean? It's a major thing now, and I don't know. I don't even know if it's real. There's is it real? Is it not real? I mean, do we live in a bubble? You know, with a ceiling and a flat Earth and you know, there's no UFOs. There's not even really any outer space. I mean, some people say we're in a matrix. I mean, this crazy goes on and on about what's we think is reality is not reality. And I question it. I question a lot of it. And I'm not insane, but I do. I question it. You know, I mean, how do you feel? I mean, my beliefs still fall back on my Christianity and my religious beliefs because I always kind of weigh things like that with the biblical standpoint. You know what I mean? Well, does it talk about it in the Bible? You know what I mean? Does it mention it in the Bible? And that's me. You have your own beliefs. That's your opinion. That's fine. But that's what I do because those are my beliefs. So, you know, I try to weigh it against that. You know, does the Bible talk about it? If the Bible talks about something of that nature, then it makes you think, you know. I don't particularly think that the Bible talked about UFOs necessarily. It did talk about giants, you know, and very big people and things of that nature, but I never heard them talk really about a UFO. And I could be wrong. I'm not a biblical scholar, you know, but um, I don't know. There's just a lot I question. There's a lot I question. I do know this. I do know that a lot of things that are going on right now will line up with revelations in the Bible. I do know that. Um, and that's my truth, and that's, what it says, and if you look at it and read it and know any of the meaning of any of it, you'll understand that to be true, and, you know, but how I mean, how crazy has it gotten, you know? Have we been duped for this long? I mean, like I said, I'm almost 50 years old, have I been duped all this time, all my life, the things that I believed are really not to be true. They're almost complete opposite. I mean, it could make a person think you're crazy, you know what I mean? I mean it could. It's that nuts. And I understand why people reject the whole thought of it. I'm like, man, get out of here with that. Just get out of here. You're a conspiracy theorist, you know, stop the BS. That's garbage. Well, Maybe some of it is, you know. I don't think all of it is though. I really don't. There's a lot of things I really believe, and it's pretty nuts. Yeah. But you guys give you something to stew on. I want y'all to just think about it. I mean, if it doesn't stress you out, think about it. Think about where we were when we were kids versus to where we are now, and all the crazy things going on that we thought we'd never see. It's happening. You know, where does that leave us? You know, I'm not real sure, but I feel like uh, I feel like we need to think about it. And if we're really getting that duped, I think that honestly, man, we're gonna have to fight back against the lies we've been told. What is real? I mean, our economy. I mean, what is real? You know, have we just been getting the shaft for years? You know, because everybody's out here going broke right now. They've spent millions on NASA and things like that. So if that's not real, where's that money? You know. But anyway, I appreciate you guys. We'll talk to you a little bit later, and I hope you have a good day and a good week, and God bless.